Welcome to the Mr. Short Game podcast. Today, I'm going to play for you two questions I got to ask Anthony Kim at the press conference at the LIV Golf event in Miami just yesterday. Flew back and we're back. So we're going to go through that. I'll play that for you in just a second if you haven't already heard it. And then we'll take you through like the state of his game. I followed him for his practice round during the Pro-Am, show you some shots and just kind of give an overview of his game. And something really, really cool happened with Anthony and myself. So unexpected. I'll share that as well. First, make sure, please, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Hit that like button, share the video. That helps a lot when you guys share it with one of your buddies because it just triggers that algorithm that YouTube loves so much. So sharing is caring. I think somebody said that before. Appreciate it. And also, look, all your 7 Diamond stuff, link below. Use the code. Get a little discount there for you. So don't forget to plug that sucker in. Plus, then they think I'm helping them out, and they like that. If you don't use the code, then they don't know about me. So use the code. I don't really care. I mean, you get a discount, so I do care. But you do you. Just saying. There you go. All right, let's dive in. Let's jump into the press conference. The question I got to ask. Take a listen. Hey, Anthony, Matt, with Mr. Short Game. With all you've gone through, all your experiences, all you've overcome, if you could go back and talk to 25-year-old Anthony Kim, what would you tell him?
There's not enough time in the day. I would tell him to be patient, to appreciate what you have in front of you, and really to take your time. Because if I took my time, I think I would have realized a lot more things. But, you know, I don't blame anybody but myself for the issues that I've had. With that being said, I was thrown into a situation because I had some success in golf that gave me different opportunities than a normal 23 or 24-year-old. And I took advantage of that. And once you get going down that slippery slope, it's hard to make your way back. And unfortunately, I just kept going downhill, and somehow I've made it through. And I'm sitting here in front of you just feeling really honored and blessed to be here because there's a lot of reasons I shouldn't be here right now.
And will we ever see the belt buckle come back?
There's a 2.0 now, so I don't know.
So it was touching. Honestly, like I was a little emotional, to be honest with you, because I've been on this story from day one. Like I broke the news about Anthony coming to LIV. I was the one. And doing that, you kind of put yourself out there as like, is this really going to happen? Am I going to look like a clown? And I've said other things that haven't, come to fruition as of yet. So you just never know. You never know what's going to happen. So it did happen. I've been on it since day one, been covering it, following the Anthony Kim journey. I love it. So when I got the opportunity to ask my question, which I didn't know if it would happen or not, I'm in the back, raising my hand, and Jane, who runs all the interviews, I mean, we know each other. She was the one who reached out to me originally pre any event. So she and I were on a Zoom conversation. She invited me to London for the very first event, and I got to film out there and play with Taylor Gooch and Saddam Kalkanjana. And I've been to a number of other events, played in other Pro-Ams with Hudson Swafford, Harold Varner. We played with Scott Vincent. So Jane's really been kind of the one who sets that up. So she, I'm raising my head. She finally gets to me. It's kind of in the middle of the press conference. And, I asked the questions that one is give Mrs. Short Game tons of credit because she and we went on a walk on Monday, as we do every day. We walk every day. So we go on a walk, and I'm like, hey, or it was Tuesday. And I said, I listened to the thing with Anthony Kim and David Faraday. And I'm like, I feel like I should get out there and just be on it. It's his first, he's doing a press conference. It's his first U.S. tournament since 2012. So she's like, cool. And I'm like, he's doing a press conference. First one, like, if I get a chance to ask a question, what should I ask? And, we just talked through it. She's like, what would you want to know? And I'm like, man, I want to know what I do different. What would I say to myself? Like, and she was like, well, and so she kind of helped me craft the question that I would. And so I'm sitting there and I'm practicing, like, how am I going to ask it? Okay, do I say it like this? And I literally worked on word order. And I was like, I'm going to be nervous, so I better practice this a number of times. So I was just saying it over and over in my hotel room the night before. So I was ready. And so I just felt like, came out pretty good. And then I'm like, a lot of other people are doing double questions and triple questions. I'm like, do I do that? Because I don't like that. I'm like, I have a question. You get a question, then you pass the mic. But I had the mic in my hand. So I was like, I'm going for the other one. That was for you guys. I mean, it's always for you guys, the listener. But the second one, I felt like we're all wondering about the belt buckle. So I had to go with that and just throw that in there for a little levity. And we're all curious too. So he alluded to there's a 2.0 version of that, which is, we don't know, but who knows? We'll see. So that was pretty good. So then my plan was to follow him for the Pro-Am and just record shots of him hitting and doing some commentary on that. Now, LIV, they play music all the time, so it makes it difficult because you're going to hear the music and then the video kind of get copyright strike, or you don't get a strike, but you can't monetize the video because of the music that's playing. So there's just issues there, and that makes it difficult. So then I'm like, man, the music's everywhere. So then I was like, let me just use those shots while we talk about his game. So that's what we're doing here, and talking about his game. And he was also filming with Eric Anders Lang, who was playing in the Pro-Am with him, and his crew was out there filming a video that will come out in a couple weeks, is what they were saying. So I was trying to not get in their way. It was Eric's first ever time being a part of a LIV event. So he went out there and he got to play with Anthony in the Pro-Am. And so I was kind of crashing the party to some degree, but hey, whatever. I'm just getting my shots and trying to be as inconspicuous and respectful as possible as other people create their content. So that's what was going on. Their match, or whatever they're doing in their video, is coming out in a couple weeks. So that'll be interesting. They do phenomenal work, beautiful cinematic style videos, and I'd be interested to see what kind of stuff they talked about as they walked along and did their thing. So, but I was there, really kind of wanted to get a good indication of Anthony Kim's game. What's it going to look like now that he's on his third event? And there's a difference between being able to see an event, see a player play on television versus live. Live, you can really get a true gauge of where the game's at. And so that's what we're for. That's what we're there for. And the cool thing that happened, and unexpected, was on the first tee box. I'm just there, and I'm just standing kind of behind the ropes, out of the way, just want to get my shot and be on my way. Well, everybody shows up to the first tee to get ready to tee off, and Anthony just walks right over to me, shakes my hand, and said some great things. I'm not going to say what he said. I don't know if it's kind of personal to me in a good way, but he just basically was appreciative of the podcast we've done. So he came over and just took his time and to say hi and say a few words to me. So, man, that was nice. Didn't have to do that. Unnecessary, but it made me feel good. It made me feel good about what we're doing here because one, I love golf, as you do too. We all love the game. Two, I love people. Like, it's for people. It's for you, the listener, the channel. What I do, the grind we go through for the videos is for you guys because we love golf and I want to give people what I would want to watch. And so I hope and try to be able to do that. And I think, man, if I'm interested in this, I think you would be interested in this. And I'm interested in Anthony Kim's story. And I'm interested in people. And I'm interested in people who overcome great things or hard things or difficult things or people who push through. There's so many like unsung heroes out there. I'm not saying he's a hero, but there's so many of you who just get up and go to work every day. And that's what you do. That's heroic because you do what you have to do for your family. He's doing what he has to do for his family. He's trying to be a light to his daughter, to his wife, to his family. He's trying to be, and he said a lot of that in the press conference of, I just want my daughter to, like who I am, basically. And so I appreciate that. Will we see him win a tournament? I sure hope so. That would be exciting. Cinderella Man, this is kind of what it could be. You never know. But that's why I flew down there. I paid for, no one paid me to go there. No one paid for my stuff. I did everything on me because, again, I love you guys. I love golf. I love great stories. And this is a good story. And where's his game now? So that was a good little interaction there. So we walk around, follow him around, and I'm just trying to see, okay, what's the state of his game? It's going to be tough. This week will be a tough one for him because in Jeddah, if you hit it offline, you're in the desert. In Hong Kong, short and narrow, if you hit it offline, you're going to be kind of in the trees. And here at Trump Doral, if you hit it offline, you're in the water. And there's wind. So there's a lot of wind and there's a lot of water. So I think if his drives are off at all, and he's always kind of got off to a little bit of a slow start, if they're off, you're in the water like every time, every hole. And with the wind, if it's up, and on Tuesday, I wouldn't have want to play the course. Yesterday, it wasn't as bad. And with the footage you're watching, it wasn't as bad. But the course is still a challenging track. And if he's off with the tee balls, the ball's wet. Here's what I do see, though. He's played smart in the first couple events. He's taken like the conservative route. And here you can do that and put the ball just short of the green. And with the Bermuda grass and the lies, you can get the ball close if your short game is tight. So that's what I was really kind of looking for. We know his putting has been phenomenal, and stroke game, putting, and short game, like he's on the top of the list there, among the top 3 or 4 in the stats for LIV. So what I'm looking for in short game to know if it's good or not necessarily how close does the ball get to the hole, because that'll change a lot based on course conditions, speed of greens, wind, and that kind of thing, and where the pins are. What I'm looking for is how does that club enter the turf, the ground, when you're doing your short game, when you're hitting the chip shots, the pitch shots, the rough shots around the green, the bunker play. We know his bunker play's been good, but he has had a lot of practice. So really, I'm listening there, standing around, looking and listening for what kind of contact his club's making with that ball. Because if it's making a crisp sound, then your short game is going to be good if you're entering the turf correctly, meaning a good attack angle, the club's not getting stuck in the earth, it's not digging into the grass. And for him, that never happened. It was very clean. He made the sound that we're looking for, and he played the right shots. Like obviously he's a professional. He knows what he's doing. He's been around the block, but he's not trying stuff that's like the super high flop, the Phil Mickelson kind of, go for broke style shots. He's just being very conservative, hitting his little chip and runs, getting up there and making putts. His putting looked phenomenal. He rolls the rock like better than as good as he always has. I don't think that's left him. So his game's a little rusty. His tee balls were a little off. So I think this week it could be a rough one unless if his driver's on, he's going to play decent. If it's off, there's going to be some big numbers out there. So hopefully he keeps the ball low and in play and out of the water. If you just keep it out of the water, you're going to be fine. His game, other than his short game, his game looks a bit rusty, but I do think he has it in him after all his surgeries, after all he's been through. You can't really tell by how he moves, how he walks, how he bends over to mark his ball, how he just goes about his business. His swing looks pretty fluid given the surgery. 7 surgeries he said he's had. I'm grateful that here we are in the States. Anthony Kim's in Miami. He's got a pep in his step, good vibes. He's a good dude. I wish him the best. It's going to be good. We're going to keep on the story for as long as we can. Hopefully, one day we'll get to, who knows, I would love to be able to play in a Pro-Am with him. I'd love to be able to do an interview with him. We'd love to be able to get some time. Who knows how it'll all pan out. But for now, it's all good. So, hope you enjoy the content. Thanks for listening. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think is going to happen this week. See you guys soon.